morning to all my dear Bhaiya Bahan. We are again going to start the same chapter of Vistas, the third level. I would like to ask you some questions as recapitulation. Can you say who is the writer of this story? Very good. Jack Finney. What does Jack Finney want to describe in this story? Very good. In this poem, Jack Finney wants to describe the third level at the Grand Central Station, which was not there. There were only two levels. What is the name of the main character in this story? Very good. Charlie. What is the name of his wife? Louisa. Very good. Who was the friend of Charlie? Very good. Sam. Who was Sam? Yes, Sam was a psychiatric. Now, we shall start the next paragraph. You see the paragraphs from I turned into Grand Central from Vanderbilt Avenue. Now open your book and see this paragraph. I turned into Grand Central from Vanderbilt Avenue and went down the steps to the first level, where you take trains like the 20th century. Then I walked down another flight to the second level, where the suburban trains leave from, ducked into an arched doorway heading for the subway, and got lost. That is easy to do. I have been in and out of Grand Central hundreds of times, but I am always bumping into new doorways and stairs and corridors. Once I got into a tunnel about a mile long and came out in the lobby of the Roosevelt Hotel. Another time, I came up in an office building on 46th Street, 3 blocks away. What do we see here? Here we see Charlie is telling about himself. Charlie comes to the part of the incident where he entered the Grand Central from Vanderbilt Avenue and took the stairs to the first level where one boarded trains like the 20th century. Then he went down another floor to reach the second level from where the suburban trains leave. From there he entered an arched doorway and got lost. It was nothing unusual for him, because even if he had come to that station 1,000 times, there were occasions he bumped into new corridors and doorways. Once he entered the wrong lobby and reached Roosevelt Hotel, and another time in an office building which was 3 blocks away. Now write down some difficult words. Bend. Bend means strip. Avenue. Avenue means a big street in a town. Flight. A set of stairs between 2 floors. Suburban means related to suburb. In Hindi it is called Upnagariya. Ducked means bent down. Arched means with a curved structure above the door. Heading for means leading to. Bumping means bouncing. Corridors means long narrow passages between two rows of rooms. Tunnel, a dug underground passage. Lobby, a wide passage or large hall just inside a building. So in this paragraph we have seen Charlie came to this station thousands of times, but most of the times he lost in the station. He was unable to choose by which way he has to go his home. It happens with him because he was a confused person. And yesterday I told you New York Grand Central Station is one of the biggest stations in the world. It is like banyan tree, and there are so many doors, there are so many entrances and so many exits, and there will be huge crowd. Due to this crowd, Charlie forgets himself. Charlie lost himself always. Now see the next paragraph. Sometimes I think Grand Central is growing like a tree, pushing out new corridors and staircases like roots. There are probably a long tunnel that nobody knows about filling its way under the city right now, on its way to Times Square, and maybe another to Central Park, and maybe because for so many people through the years Grand Central has been an exit, a way of escape. Maybe that is how the tunnel I got into, but I never told my psychiatrist friend about that idea. In this paragraph we see Charlie wondered, Charlie became surprised that Grand Central was expanding at a very fast rate, just like a tree, and with its roots. He told it is no big deal that they even have a secret tunnel under the city to the Times Square or maybe the Central Park. He feels it might be because Grand Central is a place of exit for innumerable people. I told you that it is a huge station, and so many people come and go from the door of exit. So many people come from entrance. Charlie also managed to escape reality because of the same reason, although he never shared it with his psychiatrist. Now write the difficult words meaning. Probably means perhaps. Right now means just at this time. Exit means outlet. Now see the next paragraph. The corridor I was in began angling left and slanting downward, and I thought that was wrong. But I kept on walking. All I could hear was the empty sound of my own footsteps, and I didn't pass a soul. Then I heard that sort of hollow roar ahead that means open space and people talking. The tunnel turned sharp left. I went down a short flight of stairs and came out on the third level at Grand Central Station. For just a moment, I thought I was back on the second level, but I saw the room was smaller There were fewer ticket windows and train gates, and the information booth in the center was wood and old looking, and the man in the booth wore a green eye shade and long black sleeve protectors. The lights were dim and sort of flickering. Then I saw why they were open flame gas lights. In this paragraph, what do we see? In this paragraph, we see the unusual corridor he had entered into began angling left and slanting downward, which he felt odd about, but nevertheless he kept on walking. There was no one except him, and the voice of his feet echoed. He finally heard the sound of people talking from a distance. Then he took a left and walked down the stairs again, only to reach the third level of the Grand Central. He thought he had somehow made his way back to the second level, but as he noticed, the room was smaller. There were few ticket windows and train gates, and the information booth in the center was wood and old looking. The man in the booth was also different, and the station was dim lit, for there were open flame gas lights. Here we see the writer reached the second floor, second level, and he forgot there. There he saw a ticket counter. There he saw train gates. There he saw a ticket counter which was made of wood, and it was looking old. And the man in the booth was also different, and there was dim light at the station. And in the ticket counter there was gas lights used by the ticket man who was giving the tickets. Now write down some meanings. Angling means turning. Slanting means sloping. Empty means hollow. Soul means person. Sort of means kind. Roar means loud noise like a lion. Ahead means forward. Booth means counter. Eye shade means a shade put over the eyes. Protectors, those who guard against something, means you can say guard. Flickering means an unsteady light that goes on and off quickly. Now see the next paragraph. There were brass spittoons on the floor, and across the station a glint of light caught my eye. A man was pulling a gold watch from his vest pocket. He snapped open the cover, glanced at his watch, and frowned. He wore a derby hat, a black 4-button suit with tiny lapels, and he had a big black handlebar mustache. Then I looked around and saw that everyone in the station was dressed like 1890 something. I never saw so many beards, sideburns, and fancy mustaches in my life. A woman walked in through the train gate. She wore a dress with leg of mutton, sleeves, and skirts to the top of her high-buttoned shoes. Back of her, out on the tracks, I caught a glimpse of a locomotive, a very small Carrier and Ives locomotive with a funnel-shaped stack. And then I knew spittoons, a metal or earthenware pot typically having a funnel shaped top used for spitting into. In this paragraph we see, on the second floor Charlie could see brass spittoons. Spittoons means कंटेनर्स यूज्ड फॉर स्पिटिंग, जिसमें थूक फेंकते हैं, दैट इज कॉल्ड थूकदान. एंड स्पिटून्स वेयर मेड ऑफ ब्रास. ब्रास मीन्स ए येलो मेटल, पीतल का बना हुआ था स्पिटून्स. एवरीवेयर व्हेन सडनली ए ग्लिम्स ऑफ लाइट काउट हिज आई एंड ही सॉ ए मैन पुलिंग हिज गोल्ड वॉच फ्रॉम हिज वेस्ट. Here waist pocket means a short pocket near the chest. He was dressed in an old-fashioned style. Suddenly he noticed that everyone was dressed like the 19th century. It was basically the time before deadly wars. So many beards and fancy mustaches all around. Something that the protagonist had never seen before. He even saw a very small Currier and Ives locomotive, which made him sure about which time he is in. Now write some difficult words. Brass means a yellow metal. Spittoons means containers used for spitting. Glint means unsteady light. Waist pocket means a short pocket near the chest. Snapped means broke with a jerk. Glanced, looked quickly. Frowned, made an angry expression. Tiny, small. Glimpse means casual look, jhalak you can say. Locomotive means a railway engine. Funnel shaped stack means a metal chimney like a funnel. Lead story means main story. Now see the next paragraph. To make sure, I walked over to a newsboy and glanced at the stack of papers at his feet. It was the World, and the World has not been published for years. The lead story said something about President Cleveland. I have found that front page since in the public library files, and it was printed June 11, 1894. Here in this paragraph we see, to validate his suspicion, Charlie went over to the newspaper boy who was selling The World, a newspaper which was discontinued years ago. There were some headlines about the then President Cleveland. The date on the front page was also June 11, 1894. He was not sure in which century he was talking, for which century he was talking. Now write down meanings. President Cleveland means President of the USA in 1894. Tremendous means huge. Okay, now write down. Now see the next paragraph. I turned toward the ticket windows, knowing that here on the third level at Grand Central I could buy tickets that would take Louisa and me anywhere in the United States we wanted to go. In the year 1894, and I wanted 2 tickets to Galesburg, Illinois. Have you ever been there? It is a wonderful town still, with big old frame houses, huge lawns, and tremendous trees whose branches meet overhead and roof the streets. And in 1894, summer evenings were twice as long, and people sat out on their lawns, the men smoking cigars and talking quietly, the woman waving palm leaf fans with the fireflies all around, in a peaceful world. To be back there with the First World War still 20 years off and World War II over 40 years in the future, I wanted 2 tickets for that. Here in this paragraph we see, immediately Charlie went to the ticket window to get the tickets for Galesburg, Illinois, for him and his wife. It was a wonderful town with a lot of greenery. He was well aware that from here one could buy tickets that would take them anywhere in the United States. Charlie describes how things were in 1984. Before the 2 world wars took place, evenings were twice as long as they are now, and men and women living in peace and serenity. Now write some difficult words. Quietly means silently. Waving means swaying to and fro. Palm leaf fans means fans made of palm leaves. Fireflies means lightning bugs. 20 years off means 20 years away. Figured means calculated. Fare means the rate of the ticket. Now see the next paragraph. The clerk figured the fare as he glanced at my fancy hat band, but he figured the fare and I had enough for 2 coach tickets one way. But when I counted out the money and looked up, the clerk was staring at me. He nodded at the bills. And that aren't money, mister, he said, and if you are trying to skin me, you won't. You won't get very far. And he glanced at the cash drawer beside him. Of course, the money was old style bills, half again as big as the money we use nowadays, and different looking. I turned away and got out fast. There is nothing nice about jail even in 1894. In this paragraph we see, as the clerk calculated the fare, he looked at Charlie and his fancy hat band. Charlie just had enough for one-sided journey. Just as he took out money, the clerk informed that this is not the acceptable legal tender, and by any chance if he tried to be smart, he won't be able to get away with it. He glanced at his cash drawer and realized that currency used back then was different and almost double the size. He ran out because he didn't want to go to jail. Here we see, in the drawer of the clerk there was old aged cash, and Charlie was giving new currency, so that Charlie thought, if he will give new currency to the clerk for ticket, he might be sent to jail. So, after thinking this, Charlie ran out from the ticket counter, thinking that he didn't want to go to jail. Now, write some meanings here. Staring means looking intently. Nodded and shook his head. Bills means notes or currency. Ant means here is not. Skin me means deceive me or loot me. Won't get very far means won't succeed much. Cash drawer means drawer in which cash is kept. Now see the next paragraph. And that was that. I left the same way I came, I suppose. Next day, during lunch hour, I drew $300 out of the bank, nearly all we had, and bought old currency. That really worried my psychiatrist friend. You can buy old money at almost any coin dealers, but you have to pay a premium. My $300 bought less than 200 in old style bills. But I didn't care. Eggs were 13 cents a dozen in 1894. In this paragraph we see the day ended after he came out. The next day he went to withdraw his entire savings and got them converted into old money by paying some amount of premium. It cost him much and even worried his psychiatrist friend, but he still went with it. Back then, eggs cost 13 cents a dozen. I think today is the time for classwork. So some questions to you. Write down. What happened one day when Charlie was in a hurry to get to his apartment? Very good. He lost his way. What did Charlie see on the second level? On the second level, Charlie saw the world of gaslights, brass spittoons, derby hats, beards, sideburns, fancy mustaches. How many tickets did he want for Galesburg? Very good, 2 tickets. Which type of currency was in the pocket of Charlie? Old currency or new currency? Yes, it was new currency. Very good. Now, homework. You will prepare question answer of taught paragraphs which we have read today and you will try to read the whole lesson by yourself also. So, we shall start next paragraph on the next day. Till then, thank you. Have a nice day.